Howdy, and welcome to The Uncle Who Works for Nintendo, a game by Ztol, who you might know from Twitter as @WarrenIsDead, or from the Range Touch series of podcasts as Michael. You can support the creator by just coming over here and click support this game. It's pretty easy, then they'll get just paid straight through itch. Or you can go check out some Range Touch podcasts. That'd be pretty cool of you. It'd also be pretty cool of you if you checked out the GoFundMe link in the description to help a trans youth find housing. So, The Uncle Who Works for Nintendo. You are 11 years old. You are sleeping over at your best friend's house. You and your friend like video games. Your friend has a lot of cool games. And believe it or not, an uncle who works for Nintendo, and he's coming to visit at midnight. Narrative game, 5 endings. Let's click here to see the content trigger warnings. This is a horror game. It does not make use of screamers or jump scares. Sound effects are used for tension and atmosphere. Some playthroughs may encounter plot points concerning a possible suicide. Thematically, many aspects of this game may recall the emotional abuse experienced by children at the hands of adults, and very often, other children. So now that we've set the stage, we know what we have in store for us, let's begin The Uncle Who Works for Nintendo. You are 11 years old. What is your best friend's name? I'm going to pick Andrew, because when I was maybe 11, I think it was in like the 4th grade, I had a best friend named Andrew. I don't know how old I was in the 4th grade. It's gone. I'm not going to think about it. But I did have a best friend named Andrew as a child, so it makes sense. It's also the first one on the list. Your best friend Andrew has invited you to a sleepover at his house this weekend. You've been friends since 1st grade, so asking your mom is basically only a formality. So let's go ask Mom. You've never confirmed this, but you suspect the babysitter may charge extra when there are 2 kids. You sometimes feel like staying somewhere else is the only way you can help out. Okay, this is the same thing we saw. So yeah, it's basically only a formality, so let's get going. On Friday night, you're home alone. You're home for only a few hours, long enough to pack, get in a fight with your younger sister, pack some more, and watch some TV. At 6 sharp, you're standing on the sidewalk outside Andrew's house while your mom idles in her car nearby. Well, I mean, if she took us, then basically only a formality still required her coming and picking us up. It wasn't like Andrew's parents came and got us. She leans out the window to you. You behave yourself, okay? She says. As always, I'll be at work, but if anything happens, you call me. It sucks that you have to work on Friday night, Mom. Yes, Mom. I mean, I said yes, Mom, like as if I did sigh, but you know, that just we didn't sigh. It's just like yes, Mom. Yeah, sure. I'll pick you up tomorrow at 3. She says again. Or she says, comma, again as usual. I was going to put the comma in the wrong spot. But then she pauses, looking up at the sky, which has been overcast throughout the day. If you play outside, she adds, be careful. It's probably going to rain. We're 11 years old. We don't kiss our mom goodbye anymore. After you part, your mom drives down the street, disappearing around the corner. You turn back to Andrew's house. The lights inside are glowing warmly. You can see Andrew waving at you from his bedroom on the 2nd floor. Head inside. I guess the front door was unlocked. Do we have to knock? It is 6 p.m. Okay. We had to wait for the lightning to pass before we could get to our all-night gaming session, it would seem. Andrew's mom meets you just inside. Hello, she says. Dinner will be ready in just a few minutes, but you can drop your stuff off in the den. You and Andrew are camping out there tonight. Yeah, cool. Sounds good to me. You drop your sleeping and overnight bags in the corner of the den and then pause to take a look around. Behind the couch, a grandfather clock is ticking softly. Through a set of patio doors on the far side of the room, you can see the sky is just as gray as it was when your mom left. Framed pictures line the walls, and over the dark fireplace hangs a monstrous pair of antlers from a buck Andrew's dad shot years ago. And of course, there is the big screen TV, which will be important for our gaming. We can get all of the pixels. We'll be able to see them in detail. Sometimes it makes you uncomfortable how much nicer Andrew's house is than your own. Anyway, boy, this hitting the head on the nail, the head of the nail, not the head on the nail. You wouldn't want to hit your head on a nail, but you understand. It's close to home. You drop your sleeping and over. Wait. Okay, yeah. It went to the little. We observed the big screen TV, but this is all still the same text. Andrew entered the room while you weren't paying attention, and now he stands in the doorway, smiling expectantly, menacingly. Are you ready for dinner? He asks. Yeah, I'm always ready for dinner. Dinner passes quickly. Tonight's meal is spaghetti and meatballs, one of Andrew's favorite meals, as his mother points out while piling a helping on your plate. Andrew's father cracks a beer and jovially interrogates you about how much trouble you and Andrew are getting into at school. Dessert is heaping bowls of ice cream drizzled in chocolate sauce. You can't even finish yours. Let's... Wait, that wasn't a beer at all. That's a glass of lemonade. Why would you even think it was a beer? Andrew's father doesn't drink alcohol. You're quite certain of that fact now that you've remembered it. Well, whatever. Well, Andrew's father sips a lemonade. The grandfather clock, however, does chime in the den. I said that completely out of order. Oh yeah, there it is. That's the sound of a clock. Kind of a weak grandfather clock, but not all grandfather clocks are as grand as they claim to be. You go along now, says Andrew's mom, smiling from her side of the table. We'll clean up in here. Let's go get the TV ready, says Andrew. The two of you leave the dining room and head upstairs. Andrew's room is immense, as you can tell by all of the lines. It's non-Euclidean. It's very large. You stay in the den because the TV is larger there, but there's a sizable one here, flush with the wall opposite the full-size bed. We'll take the 64 down first, says Andrew, heading towards his TV and opening the entertainment center cabinet. It's his prerogative, of course. He gets to choose what you play first, usually. But as Andrew begins unhooking the cords from the N64 from the TV, you catch sight of the other things he has in there. Does he have a Dreamcast? All the major stuff. An old Super Nintendo, a PlayStation, a Dreamcast. But some other things too, things you don't really recognize. A large black box with green highlights, a smaller purple one, a strange white and yellow tower with what looks like gloves resting on hooks on either side, a compact white cone. We probably do think they look cool, but we gotta know what this smaller purple box is. Andrew looks to the clutter in the cabinet. Oh yeah, he says. They're pretty cool. I can't show them to you, though. They're still secret. I promised my uncle. Of course, you suddenly remember his uncle. The uncle who works for Nintendo. In the corner, the grandfather clock is ticking softly. Through a nearby set of patio doors, you can see it's getting quite dark. Framed pictures line the walls. Andrew is parked in front of the large TV, playing something on the Nintendo 64. Well, let's check out the grandfather clock. It's 7. Framed pictures line the walls. You walk around the perimeter of the den, inspecting the pictures idly. Most of them are family portraits from years past. Andrew cradled lovingly between his mother and father, or any one of the three on their own. A happy, tidy family. Look for pictures of Andrew's uncle. Well, we want to get a peek at what someone who works for Nintendo looks like. You don't find any, not one. The only pictures here are of Andrew and his parents. You don't know why that makes you feel uneasy. To be fair, my sister doesn't have any pictures of me in her home. Oh, at least I don't think she just moved, so I don't know. Time passes. We can turn to see the grandfather clock. It's 7:30. We looked at pictures for 30 minutes because it's Andrew's turn on the Nintendo 64. It's not a two-player game, you see. Talk to Andrew. What would you like to talk about? Games, obviously. You recount some rumors you read about the new Nintendo console. Andrew informs you he has a prototype upstairs you can play later. You ask why not now. He says he's too busy playing the 64. I've never heard anybody refer to the Nintendo 64 as the 64, and we know it's 8:30. I thought it said like the hour passed, like it hit the hour, not like a full hour passed. I see. Never heard anyone say the 64, even when I was a wee lad. With the Nintendo 64. I've always, for some reason, respectfully was like, yes, this is the Nintendo 64. To be fair, I also grew up with my dad's NES, which at the time, it was the Nintendo. So it was like, yes, this is the Nintendo 64. The next one, because I didn't have a Super Nintendo. Well, we've been here for 2 hours. Think about Andrew's uncle. We'll do that in a bit. We've been here for 2 hours. We got to go to the bathroom. You head to the bathroom down the hall from the den. There's a shower, a linen closet, and a toilet. Well, we didn't come here to shower. We didn't come here to look in the linen closet. We came, unless we wanted just a little smell of that good linen, but we came to use the bathroom. You don't, oh, we don't, yeah, we're done here. We don't have to use, what about the linen closet? Can I get this smell? It's a linen closet filled with large fluffy towels and a washcloths. You're not sure why you looked in there. Well, I wanted the smell. What about the shower? Shower's pristinely clean. And just because I didn't read it, it just says you don't have to go right now when you click on the toilet. Well, let's go back. Head back to the den. Is it still, it's 8:30 now. We wasted 30 minutes in the bathroom. We can go to the kitchen, but we have just eaten, so, we were looking at the pictures. Let's think about Andrew's uncle a little. It began with Mew. You didn't believe him at first when Andrew came to school one day and told you he had finally caught Mew. Prove it, you said. So he pulled out his Game Boy and showed you. There it was. Mew, the 151st Pokemon available only to players at promotional events, somehow unlocked in Andrew's game. I hear there's also a glitch. By I hear, I mean in high school, a friend showed me that he had somehow glitched. There's some glitch you can do to get Mew into the game, which I guess makes sense with what people have figured out with arbitrary code execution in that game to be able to do just weird stuff where you glitch it out. It wasn't like the truck thing, obviously, but you understand. There's something strange you can do that's very specific to get Mew. Unless they were fooling me and just did a Game Shark while I wasn't looking. Who could say? It's really strong, he said. It KOs every enemy in one hit. That's a powerful Mew. Andrew demonstrated this claim at recess when you and some of the other friends linked Game Boys to do battle. You were the first one down. No one else gotten a single hit on Andrew's Mew. You asked Andrew how he managed to get it. In a few days, everyone had quit playing Pokemon at recess. The allure had faded. Yes, with that very powerful Mew. Psychic was very powerful in Gen 1. I guess that explains it, but, if you could bring Mewtwo into the field, well, that really, because I believe Psychic was a Psychic. I always forget how those kinds of type matchups work. You asked how Andrew managed to get it. I was going to put the how in the wrong part in that. Oh, my uncle got a job at Nintendo, said Andrew. You were walking home together past one of the construction crews. Andrew still lived next door to you at the time. Construction crews? There had been a storm not too long ago. There were trees were down all over town. Buildings had collapsed. You were standing at the intersection with Andrew as a truck rumbled by, loaded up with the ragged tree trunks. What a bad storm. He still lived next to us at the time. Wait, this couldn't have been too long ago. When did Andrew move? There was something nice about being neighbors. Oh, yeah, so, my uncle got a job at Nintendo, and you just go, oh. He also got me this new Game Boy, said Andrew, pulling it out of his pocket. Oh, the Game Boy Pocket? No, it's not the Game Boy Pocket. You hadn't noticed it earlier, but yes, Andrew now had a sleek new Game Boy Color. Until today, he had one of the old ones, a big gray brick like yours. This one's a special edition, said Andrew. Isn't it cool? Well, yeah, of course we agreed. Is it Atomic Purple special, though? Who could say? You snap out of your reflections. The chalk. I was going to say the chalk climbs. The clock chimes. You are in the den. Andrew's mother bustles in the room holding a large ceramic bowl filled with popcorn under her arm. How you kids doing? She asks. Good, says Andrew, his eyes not moving from the television. I hope you're having fun, says Andrew's mom. Here's some popcorn. Extra butter. She places it on the floor by Andrew. Almost immediately, Andrew is shoveling popcorn into his mouth. Meanwhile, his mother smiles first at him and then back at you. There's sodas in the kitchen if you're thirsty, she says, and some pizza from the other night if you get hungry. And you will, of course, thank you. You want to be polite. She looks at Andrew. Your father's gone to bed. I'll be there soon myself. I want you two to keep it quiet, all right? Yes, Mom, says Andrew tiredly. Oh, and before I forget, she adds, your uncle called. He suddenly has some business here in town tomorrow, but he's driving in early. He'll be here around midnight. I guess this is taking place in Redmond. We can only assume if the uncle from Nintendo is in the area. For the first time, Andrew stops playing his game, stops eating popcorn, and turns to look at his mother. Okay, he says. I want you two to welcome him in. He'll be very tired and very hungry, so offer him something to eat before he goes to bed. Okay, Mom. Good night, kids. And with that, she's gone. In the corner, grandfather clock. I believe it's, 9 o'clock. Frame pictures. There's the bowl of popcorn. Remember your own Mew. Let's watch Andrew play. What is Andrew playing? We haven't watched because we've been busy. You're feeling anxious, and you apparently showing it. Andrew looks at you and bites his lip. Watch this, he says. On screen, the game's main character in a car on a crowded street in what looks like a virtual New York City. Andrew revs up and begins mowing down pedestrians, giggling. Was there a Grand Theft Auto game on the N64? N64, that's actually not what I normally called it. I just remember. My brain, it doesn't work anymore. I'm sorry. Just the 64 is still strange, though. N64, now that's cooking with Nintendo power. Oh, I heard Mario, my friend. My enemy. You don't think this is very funny, but to Andrew, it's hilarious. My sister was one of those people who's like, oh my god, Grand Theft Auto. My dad liked Grand Theft Auto on the PlayStation 2, Vice City and San Andreas, and my sister loved just running around and mowing down people. Yeah, there was a time when I was like, oh yeah, I can get into this, but it gets boring very quickly. Taking the virtual lives of virtual people, you know. Kids, what you gonna do? After a while, he stops the car and waits. An ambulance appears, and once the paramedics exit, he beats them to death with a baseball bat. Just the sound of Mario Kart like item reel in the background while Grand Theft Auto is apparently happening was very confusing. Unless this is a very, very modded version of Mario Kart 64. Isn't this great? He asks. This goes on for a while. The clock chimes. It begins raining outside, and it's probably 10. Yeah, it's 10 o'clock. So Andrew's playing Grand Theft Auto Mario Kart somehow. It's very interesting. Let's remember our own Mew. You got your own Mew eventually. Another friend had a Game Shark. There we go, which you borrowed one day. You spent that entire night unlocking every Pokemon you couldn't obtain in your copy of the game or hadn't yet traded for, including Mew. It didn't one-hit KO most enemies. It was incredibly weak, and you shamefully cheated the game further to make it strong enough. It even looked different from Andrew's. You asked him why. Your Mew was small, even cute, standing there with its round, cheerful eyes. But when Andrew's had wiped out everyone at school, it had looked completely different, compact, snarling, fierce. Like perhaps a small Mewtwo. He got that small Mewtwo. So, it happens. Sometimes you get small Mewtwo's. You asked him why. What? He said. That had been here in the den. Oh, that thing? Andrew had moved by then, but how long was that after the first storm, after he got Mew? You can't remember. It had been a while since anyone talked about Pokemon. Well, my uncle got me a special edition Mew, first of all, he said, smirking a little, but not looking away from the play. Oh, he swapped to PlayStation at some point. Okay, well, swapping to PlayStation does explain Grand Theft Auto. Does not explain. Maybe there's this is like a fancy TV that can do picture-in-picture. It just like one hand N64 controller, one hand PlayStation, so both Grand Theft Auto and Mario Kart are happening at the same time. Can TVs do that? I don't know. Maybe they can. That's why mine look different. Second of all, mine can one-hit KO because it's the real Mew. You asked what he meant by that. Just what I said, Andrew replied. You cheated and got a fake Mew, so of course there'd be problems, glitches and junk. You felt your cheeks redden. But not me, Andrew said. Again, I got the real Mew, and only me. My brother was so jealous. Andrew's brother? What about him? Why does remembering that comment make you feel uneasy? You snap out of your reflections. Grandfather clock. It's 10:30. It's an hour and a half before the uncle's visit. So perhaps we should ask. Well, let's look at the popcorn. I'd like a popping corn. You grab a handful of popcorn. It's buttery and delicious. Did that pass any time? No, it did not. That was a free action popcorn. No time passed. You just shovel some popcorn in your mouth. So why is your uncle coming? Your uncle stays with you when he visits. I'm gonna ask this one. I personally never spent the night over at my sister's house, but that doesn't seem that weird. Like a thing that you would have to ask about. Like, oh yeah, he's gonna stay with family, of course. So why is your uncle coming? Andrew shrugs. Business. But I thought he worked for Nintendo. What sort of business? Let's call it. I mean, he has the real Mew, so we probably shouldn't call it into question. But if we're not in Redmond, it probably would make sense to ask this question. He does, says Andrew, frowning but not looking away from the TV screen. He's really important there. Does Nintendo have a lot of business here? Then what does he have to do here? Well, let's ask about Nintendo business. Why else would my uncle be coming? Andrew says, as if you've asked the dumbest question in the world. Well, it's cool. I'll finally get to meet him. Yeah, agrees Andrew. I think you'll like him. What sort of work does your uncle do? Andrew pauses the game and turns toward you, visibly agitated. How should I know? I don't work for them. Right now, he's not quite yelling, but you think if you keep pressing the subject, he might... Sorry. I was just curious. You know, we don't want to upset him any more than he has. Otherwise, when will it be our turn to play the PlayStation N64 combination? You drop the conversation in silence. Grandfather clock, still 10:30. That was also a free asking about the uncle visit. Talk to Andrew. Ask if Andrew thinks the storm will be as bad as the last one. Why would we be worried about the storm? Let's watch Andrew play, I guess. Andrew invites you over to play a game of Mario Kart. Here we go. Andrew wins every round pretty easily, and you start to feel like this was a mistake. He is just too competitive and, frankly, a lot better than you. Good game, he says, smirking. Good game. To be honest, I'm someone to toot my own horn, but I'm pretty good at Mario Kart. I'm not very competitive though, so like, I tend to win when it comes to Mario Kart, but I don't make a big deal about it, even though I'm kind of making a big deal about it right now. It's because I'm not very competitive, so I can't play a whole lot of it at once. Ready to try again? Andrew asks. Let's switch it up, you say. You've been playing for a while. The clock chimes. What time is it? It's 11, an hour until the uncle from Nintendo arrives. We can talk to Andrew. We've probably pushed that one. We could go to the bathroom. We haven't gotten any alerts that we need to use the bathroom, but perhaps we should go and try and use the bathroom one more time, just in case. We don't want to have an accident because we're so just impressed by the uncle from Nintendo. It took 30 minutes. Yeah, Andrew's still playing. Talk to Andrew. We can talk about some games. Let's go back talking about games. Okay, yeah, it was just the same thing from before. The grandfather clock chimes the hour as Andrew suddenly looks up from the 64. It's time, he says. Is your uncle here? As you can hear, someone knocked at the door. That's him, Andrew says Andrew, standing up. I should go let him in. As he leaves the den, you realize you could follow, but a part of you really feels like being scarce for a bit. Well, we were told to be polite. We could stay out of the way because this, it's family business. But what if we don't get to meet the uncle? We should follow. The knocking continues persistently as you follow Andrew to the front of the house. Outside the pebbled glass of the front window, you can see a tall, dark shadow. Andrew goes to the door, undoes the deadbolt, and cracks it open. Like the sound that doors make, you understand. You can come in, he says to whoever stands out there on the porch, then looks over his shoulder at you. Sorry, he says. Before you can ask what there is to be sorry about, the door slams open. Bad expression. Hello, child. Bad expression. Come closer, child. Bad expression. No more worries, child. Bad expression. I am hungry, child. Bad expression. No more worries, child. Bad expression. Hello, child. Bad expression. Fear equals none. Screaming equals C. Stop it, child. Hello, child. Hello, child. Hello, child. Hello, child. Hello, child. Undefined error. Yeah. Things seems like it wasn't going. Seems like the meeting, the first impressions weren't perhaps all there. Oh, is this yeah, I can click on the undefined error. Let's try to define this error. The uncle who works for Nintendo. Well, it seems like we met the uncle. It seems like it went well. Unless this is the uncle. Yep, nope, that's the end. Yep, Michael Lutz, the original art by Kimberly Parker. Abstract backgrounds made with Icosa by MCC. Scripts and CSS by Leon Arnott, Tori Hoke, and then there's some sound credits. Let's click on the sound credits. Oh, so we can see like the freesound.org. Nice. We can find out the inspirations. There are 5 endings. I wasn't planning on going for all of them, but I am interested. We've taken a little taste, and perhaps we should. I don't know if we'll get them all, but we can look at a few more. We can see all of the inspirations here. Lights Out Please by oh, that's a lot of names. Her Pound of Flesh, You Were Made for Loneliness, The Yog, History Lesson, Glitches, A Kind of History, and Arcade Review number 3. Special thanks. That's a lot. I'll just keep this on screen for a little bit so everybody can read the credits before we, I guess, go back in because we got that undefined air when we met the uncle, and I'm not sure about all of the things that we could do differently to perhaps receive different endings, and it looks like there's maybe a 6th ending. We can start from the beginning. We can restart at 7 in the den. Yes, because at 7's the very beginning of the night. One quick question. Was your father's drinking a beer at dinner? I'm not sure what I saw. No, he doesn't drink. I guess we'll stick with that. We'll see. We'll speed through this a bit more this time. This one says something different, I think. For a while, you and Andrew talk about the game on TV. It's not the one you're familiar with. Andrew explains the elaborate systems in some detail. An hour passes. Grandfather Clock. We can talk to Andrew. I will never talk about school. Who wants to talk about school? We can watch Andrew play. You and Andrew decide to switch games since his library is so large. He picks. You play this one, he says. Play. In this game, you play as a warrior saving a magical kingdom of talking animals from an old wizard who barfs up blood every time he talks. It's gross, but also sort of funny. You're pretty good at this one, says Andrew, then adds his voice a little low. I've never actually beaten it. You play for a while. Andrew's mother, popcorn. Yep, popcorn. Well, once again, Anchor. Yes, we're learning about the uncle. She's gone. We could ask about the uncle's visit. I guess we could ask why he's gonna. Let's do some different things this time. I was like, we could just. In my brain, I'm like, I will systematically just go through all of these until we get every single ending. But I'm not sure if we should do that. We'll see. Okay, so yeah, we're like, does your uncle stay with you? Yeah, says Andrew nonchalantly. He lives pretty far away, so he just drops by. Isn't that a little weird? Andrew gives you a look you don't like very much. How would you know? You don't even have an uncle. Yeah, I guess so. Damn. I'm not the uncle genius over here, it would appear. Myself, I am an uncle, but the wee child, the 11-year-old, not yet an uncle. This is not a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure sitch. We can ask about the uncle. We did actually just do this. I forgot. My brain's bad. We can just, what sort of business? Stuff for Nintendo, says Andrew. Does Nintendo do a lot of business too? What does Nintendo do here? Or we could just be like, oh, okay. I think last time we asked if they do a lot of business. What do they do here? No, yeah, he's going to get upset about that again. Conversation in silence. Watch Andrew play. Watch this, he says. On the screen, Link is in the Temple of Time. Andrew heads to a corner of the map, and after walking back and forth for a few seconds, phases through the wall. I found this the other day, says Andrew, running his avatar through a huge room with arched ceilings. What are you going to do with it, you ask? Andrew doesn't say anything, but smiles as Link reaches the end of the room and stops in front of the shining golden light of the Triforce. Wow! This is a huge. Well, I was gonna say this is a huge speedrunning thing. Just finding the Triforce. But I mean, to get to the Temple of Time, it'd be faster to do the one in the Goma boss fight room. I would assume to just skip to the end. Link saunters forward and grabs the Triforce. Triumphant music and a lengthy cutscene play as Link poses with the Master Sword, which now glows gold. Now the game gets really cool, says Andrew. You have unlimited bombs and arrows and can go into the past as an adult. Accordingly, he shows off things for a while. The clock chimes. Andrew's figured some shit out. What time is it? Grandfather Clock. It's only 10. Let's continue watching. You watch Andrew Mario Kart. This is different. You You and Andrew play a game of Mario Kart. Andrew wins the first track pretty easily, and you start to feel like this was a mistake. He is just too competitive, but you actually win during the second track. We could be like, but if he normally wins, we do want to gloat. That's what you get for playing as Bowser. We don't, none of these really speak to me, because I don't want to be like, oh, well, did you just let me win? You do not want to diss King Koopa, so perhaps maybe you can just eat my dust. Sorry, says Andrew. I'm a little off my game tonight. You notice that he seems somehow nervous. While you played, an hour passed, so it's 11 now. 11 o'clock. Let's play with Andrew more. My uncle will be here soon, says Andrew, looking at the clock. Should we get stuff ready for him? Let's play just one more game. You pick. As you begin ruffling through the pile of cartridges by the TV, you realize Andrew is staring at you. You turn to star back. Is everything okay? Andrew shakes his head. No, sorry, I was just thinking. You shrug and pick a cartridge from the pile. How about this one? Andrew nods. You plug it in and start up the console, and you hear him behind you. Hey. Yeah? Thanks for spending the night, he says. You play together for a good while. I wish we didn't get to find out what we picked, but we did pick something. Is your uncle here? Someone's knocking at the front door. I'm not sure if we can... I hit space. I don't know if that was just convenient timing or not. We'll be scarce for a bit. Andrew can go talk to his uncle, Where to go? We'll go to the bathroom. You run down the hall to the bathroom and lock the door behind you. Or at least, this could have been a bathroom. The walls are bare and white. There's no sink or toilet. But there are some odd, featureless white boxes that could stand in for a shower or a linen closet. Let's get in the linen closet. Not that we're going to hide or anything, but if we were to hide, that seems like it'd be a better place to hide. You crawl into the plain white box that's about the size of a linen closet and close it behind you. From the front of the house, you can hear the front door slam open. Slam open, you more often hear about them slamming closed than slamming open. After that, you don't hear anything except bad expression, child. The rain. No, not just the rain, but that voice in the back of your head like, bad expression, I am coming for you, child. Like something you can't even begin to describe. Though you lock the door behind you, you hear it open easily. Something walks in. Well, we should hold our breath. Closing our eyes isn't going to help at this point. You're not sure how something is out there, because you don't exactly, bad expression, oh child, hear it moving, but you know it is there. You know it stopped. Bad expression, poor child. Right outside your hiding spot. It opens the door, even though you immediately realize it doesn't have any hands. Oh, child. It seems like it's the same thing that we got previously. So maybe I have once again gotten the. Oh wait, no. We're getting friends. Struggling. I have friends for you. In the dark, you will play forever. In the dark. Hello, child. The uncle who works for Nintendo. We've gotten the run one? Okay, so I was thinking like we could have hidden other places, and I was like, well, if all the endings are like dependent on where you hide, that wouldn't be too terribly interesting. But it seems like this game has a little bit more going for it than, oh, well, if I hide in the kitchen, I'll get a different one. So I assume that we have multiple places that we can hide. Perhaps we got run. Maybe there's like a hide where we actually successfully hide. Not sure. Well, I'm not sure what I saw vis-a-vis the friend drinking beer at dinner. Actually, I did hear that maybe we should change our friend's name from playthrough to playthrough, and I'm just now remembering that. I'm not sure if there's a good way to restart this. Maybe, I should have been starting from the beginning instead of just starting from here. Whoops. Oh well. I just remember that tip that I got. Dang. I'll start from the beginning next time, and then we'll change Andrew to something else. Let's talk to Andrew. We're going to talk about games. The prototype, hour passes. Talk to Andrew about games. You bring up the subject of fighting games, and very quickly you and Andrew are involved in a slow-moving, not very serious argument about whether or not they are fun. My answer is probably not. I don't think they're unfun. Fighting games aren't my thing. You know, like I said earlier with Mario Kart, I'm not too terribly competitive. So, a few rounds and it's like, well, I'm good, regardless of whether I'm good or not. Whoops. I meant to continue speaking to Andrew. But we had to see that sweet Ocarina of Time skip. Talk to Andrew about games, the prototype. So perhaps Andrew only has a few things he could possibly say about games. You have a rather one-sided conversation about whether RPGs on the PlayStation are better than the old Super Nintendo ones. A debate for sure. Time for what? Someone knocks at the door. Yeah, this time we'll be scarce. We'll run to the kitchen. This passage does not exist. Okay, kitchen. It's not there. We have never visited the kitchen, so perhaps it just didn't exist there. Yeah, so we hide in the. This time we hid in the shower, but it seems like it's going to be. I guess we'll close our eyes this time. Yeah, right outside our no hands. My space bar doesn't do anything. Enter doesn't do nothing. I could escape, but I know escape's just going to minimize the screen. Okay, so we need to make some different choices if we're going to see some different endings. And I think that one stretched the screen a little. Hey, yeah, go away. You don't want those bars there. What happens if I click on a locked one? Oh yeah, the locked ones. I think if we click them, they give us hints. Yeah, it's definitely weird here. Decide you don't feel like spending the night. Call your mom and ask to be taken home. Be sure you have enough time for your ride to show up. Okay. That is always an interesting move to pull. It's funny, as children, I'll pick Sarah, so it's the bottom one. Asking your mom, only a formality. Leans out the window. Yes, mom. We'll wave goodbye, because we're not a baby who kisses their mother. We're a grown child who waves respectfully. And we need to make some different decisions. But the move of I don't want to be there anymore, and calling your parents, it's a move I never did, despite the fact that many sleepovers I was just like, damn, I'm kind of done being here. Are you ready for dinner? Yeah, we're ready for dinner. Cracks a beer. It's not a beer, it's a glass of lemonade. We know this, of course. Grandfather clock chimes. We head upstairs. Entertainment cabinet, other things. Those look cool. Sarah looks at the clutter in the cabinet. Okay, yeah, this seems like it's pretty much the same. The uncle who works for Nintendo. We're acquainted now. There's framed pictures. We can talk to Sarah. We've been doing the talk. Let's just play games all night. We can think. I just love think about the uncle. Sarah's playing something that looks a little like Mario, but it's not a game you're familiar with. You watch for a while, but eventually Sarah turns to you. Come on, you want to play? Let's play co-op. There's co-op. There's co-op, you ask? Of course, says Sarah, handing you a controller. You don't know the game, but still it feels oddly familiar. She only has to give you a few pointers on how to move the camera. You play through a level or two. Clock chimes. Watch Sarah play. Decide to switch games. Play this one. The old wizard that she never actually beat. We've heard about this one. Oh yeah, it's time for the popcorn. Thank you. Be around at midnight. She's gone. Well, of course, hey, I'm going to get some buttery, delicious popcorn. Let's continue to play. Doing the cool Ocarina of Time skip. Wow. Oh, I forgot entirely what we were doing. I was supposed to call me parents. Well, I didn't actually. 10 o'clock. We'll probably not have enough time for our parents to get here. But we'll go into the kitchen. Passing through the empty dining room, and you enter. I completely forgot what I was doing. You enter the kitchen, which is also deserted right now. Fridge. Return to the den. How do we call our parents? I figured if we went to the kitchen, we would be like, oh, here's the thing about here's the thing, like, oh, the landline phone would be in the kitchen, of course. We can ask about the uncle's visit. Maybe we can push the wrong way. Intend to do a lot of business. Cool to finally meet him. Sort of know work. I'm not sure I believe you about your uncle. Sarah takes a moment to respond as if she's not quite sure she heard you correctly. What? I don't believe your uncle works for Nintendo. You think you've finally done it. Sarah stands up, fists clenched at her sides, mouth twisting horribly as she struggles to say something. You watch as she takes a step forward toward you, and you flinch. We clench our teeth and wait. We're a hardcore 11-year-old. Sarah darts forward and pushes you back to the hardwood floor, cracking your skull against the carpet. You take the initiative and throw a punch before she can go for you again. You take a moment to be dazed. Yeah, we'll be dazed. You lie there, expecting another punch or kick, but to your surprise, nothing happens. Slowly, you sit up to see Sarah standing there, arms still stiff at her sides, breathing heavily. You realize she is close to crying. We could just be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it." But let's ask what's wrong. Like, are you okay? Sarah shakes her head as if remembering something. Never mind, she says. Just never mind. You want to say something more, but she's already re-immersed in the video game. We take a breather. Okay, I was thinking maybe instigating something could perhaps be like, hey, just get out of here. Call your parents. Let's talk about school. Try to strike up a conversation, but Sarah doesn't seem to want to. Yeah, who would want to talk about school? Yeah, it's 11, so we're almost there. Did we lose? We lost. Oh, we lost the option to game. We can no longer game after the fight. We can think, but I think this will just it'll give us the mute conversation. Yeah, so let's just go ahead and skip through here. I wonder if starting that fight will have changed anything. In the bathroom, there's the. We came here before. If we're about to die, let's have some cold pizza. I don't like the pizza cold. I always warm up my pizza before I eat it. Time for what? Someone knocks at the door. I don't think we're gonna get a different ending this time because I totally forgot the what I was going for. But let's go to the kitchen because now we've been there. Passage does not exist. Kitchen. Okay. So the kitchen's never an option. Yeah, we can't. We're gonna have to go through this again. We'll close our eyes. Not that it matters. Okay. Okay. So we need to get kicked out. Well, we don't need to get kicked out. We need to find a phone. How do we acquire phone? Perhaps acquiring phone. I figured it'd be in the kitchen. If it's not in the kitchen, maybe it's in the parents' room. Maybe we need to upset the parents. Maybe we need to be a little bit louder, and the parents will be like, "Hey, just call your mom and get out of here." We'll just start from the den. We didn't really do anything. I'm not sure what I saw yet. The good old Daddy Deer cucking a beer. So let's. Okay, what are we gonna do this time? How can we do this? We could just, let's just start that fight like fucking immediately. Let's do it. Maybe if we start the fight, so we'll think about the uncle. We can continue to think about the uncle. Okay, I thought if we thought about the uncle, then it would swap to I thought it would swap to talking about the uncle. Maybe we have to talk to Sarah first. Talk to Sarah. Never mind. Games. You talk about how much you like games. Sarah raises an eyebrow at your remark. What do you like about them? The chance to be a different sort of person, the challenge, solving puzzles and stuff, being a hero in the story as well. I like solving puzzles and stuff. Yeah, she says. That's a nice feeling. But something in her voice tells you she's thinking about something. What's up? Do you think it's weird to play games? She asks suddenly. And then, before you can say anything else, I mean, is it weird for a girl to play games? Yeah, I know what you mean. I don't know. Change the subject. Back in the 90s, people were like, "Oh, a girl." So I'm guessing, based on the games we're talking about, it's probably you know, Pokemon's out, so it's late 90s at the very least. We're still talking about Mew, even though Pokemon has not been the thing to talk about on the playground anymore. So I'm guessing this is very late 90s, pre-Pokemon Gold and Silver. So let's just be like, yeah, I know what you mean. Because yeah, people they're still very strange about girl gamers, because as we all know, all girl gamers are fake gamers. It's a known fact. They say weird stuff about me. Everyone says, "Oh, wait, I thought I should have been paying a bit more attention instead of my little what do you call it when you go off? I went off, whatever. This has normally been us saying us staying stuff. They say the same stuff about me. Everyone says it's weird that I'm friends with you. We're not supposed to play games, right? I'm sorry they're like that. I hear what they say sometimes. I try to tell them they're wrong, but we could try and be like, yeah, I'm not to toot my own horn, but I'm the kind of person who'd be like, hey, stop it. Unless we're shit talking about a shitty person or something. You understand? Let's just continue down what we're doing. We're not supposed to play games, right? Girls don't play video games. Why? Why don't you play girl games? You're not as good at this as a boy would be. I don't want to trade. Oh, yep. Yeah, it was just going through like things that people would say to us. Yeah, says Sarah. Yeah. But they're jerks. Who cares what they have to say? I'm sorry they're like that. I'm sorry I don't stand up for you. Well, it sounds like we could be like, yeah, they're jerks. Let's apologize for not standing up for Sarah. Sarah looks surprised, as if she never considered this a possibility before. No, she says. No, you wouldn't have to do that. But I should. Why? Because I'm your friend, because they're jerks, because no one should be treated like that, because they shouldn't treat people like that, because they won't stop unless they feel like people will fight them, because I'm sick of it and I just want to be able to be your friend and play video games and not have people be terrible about it. So several good options, We could be like, well, I'm your friend. Of course I would do this. But also, like, that means, like, if we saw it happen to someone who wasn't our friend, we'd just be like, whatever, because they're jerks, just because, they're being jerks, obviously. No one should be treated like that, true. They shouldn't treat people like that, also true. But I think, honestly, I'd probably be like, well, I'm sick of it, and I just want to be your friend, and play video games, and not have people be terrible about it. Oh, she says. And then, thank you. Sarah returns her attention to the Nintendo, leaving you alone with your thoughts. I'm going to think more about your uncle. Oh, it's popcorn time! Non-silently. I should probably... I thought we were going to start a fight, and that's how we were going to get out of this place, but I'm not sure. We could ask about the uncle's visit. Why is your uncle coming? Thought I worked for Nintendo. Nintendo have a lot of business here. Cool, finally get to meet him. Uncle don't believe you about your uncle. Don't believe your uncle works for Nintendo. Let's clench our teeth and wait. And this time, we're going to take the... we were just like, yeah, I hate the way that those people pick on you. And now we're starting a fight with Sarah. So you take the initiative and throw a punch before she can go for you again. You shove yourself up off the floor and send your fist into Sarah's stomach. For a moment, you're shocked at what you've done as she stands there gasping in her pajamas. But then suddenly, bad expression, I hate you. You hear something, or think you hear something, someone shouting, and then you've fallen flat on the floor. For a moment, you don't think you can get up. Your whole body feels heavy. Did she hit you? I hate you, says Sarah. Leave me alone. You finally manage to sit up as she turns back to her game. You take a moment to collect yourself. Okay, now we can call our mom, but it's only 9. Hell yeah, let's call our mom. We did have to start our fight to be able to call our mom. Which normally, in my experience, when my parents were like, "Hey, if you don't want to be there, you can just call us." And I don't know why I never pulled that power move, because there are a lot of times when sleepovers go south, and especially with the friends that I would tend to sleep over with. They were in the same neighborhood. I could have walked home. It would have been fine. Passing through the empty dining room, you enter the kitchen where the phone sits on the counter. Let's call Mom. You dial your mom's work number and wait. She picks up after 3 rings. I want to go home. Something in your voice seems to give her pause. Okay, she says after a moment. I'll call the sitter and tell her to come pick you up. It'll probably be an hour. Is that okay? Yes, thank you. Of course, she says with the hint of a sigh. I'll call her now, okay? She'll be there in an hour. Be safe. She hangs up. Return to the den and pack your things. The clock chimes as you enter the den. Sarah doesn't even look away from the TV as you come in. Quietly begin. Announce that you're leaving. Let's just... we had a fight, and that's a fireplace. I don't know why I've been looking at that like that's the TV. That's definitely a fireplace. We'll just, we had a fight. So, we probably, rather than like, I am leaving now, This draws Sarah's attention. What are you doing? She asks. Explain that you're leaving. What? Sarah stands up, not even bothering to pause the game. No, you can't leave. It's almost time. I'm not having fun. Almost time for what? I don't think we're friends anymore. We did just decky. I don't actually. She didn't hit us. She walked over like she was like, ooh, like she's gonna hit us, and then we punched her. So what should we say here? I'm not having fun. I think obviously we know what it's almost time for. After a hit, we have done the hit. Perhaps our friendship can recover. I'm not having fun. But you will, I promise. There's so much stuff I have planned for you tonight. I was about to let you play the next Zelda game, the one that's not even out yet. Before you can say anything, she is already running upstairs. Sarah continually runs up and down the stairs, bringing you games and consoles while you pack up your things. Every time she presents you something new, you ignore her or brush it off with an uncaring shrug. Please, Sarah says, just stay. Just stay the night, please. Outside, you hear a car horn honk. No, you say. With your night bag slung over one shoulder, you march to the front door and exit into the night. As you walk to the sitter's car, you see your little sister in the back seat, still in her pajamas. The sitter, a high school girl who lives down the street from you, looks incredibly unhappy to be here, but you think you'll be able to handle her. As you climb into the car, one last look over your shoulder, back to the house. Sarah's standing in the doorway, totally still, not screaming, not crying, not doing much of anything. The car begins to pull away from the house, and as you watch, you see her parents appear in the doorway behind her. Takes a wave. Without acknowledging you, Sarah's parents lie their hands on her shoulders. They turn Sarah back into the house, the door closing just as everything slides out of view. When you turn around in your seat to look out the back window, you can't even see the house's lights. Sarah doesn't show up to school on Monday, or Tuesday, or Wednesday. On Thursday, you ask your teacher, Mr. Scott, where Sarah is. He blinks at you confusedly. Oh, he says eventually. Sarah, well, I'm surprised she didn't tell you about this, but she says her family moved away. The house is empty when you ride your bike by that afternoon. It somehow seems even larger without anything or anyone in it. A for sale sign stands in the yard out front. Go home. You never see Sarah again, and eventually, as the years pass, you forget about her entirely. End. The uncle works for Nintendo. Okay, so this time we got the exit ending, which you left early. Sarah moved away. You weren't interested in being friends with her anymore anyway. Undefined error. You met the uncle who works for Nintendo. Very, with normal text. You tried to hide, but the uncle who works for Nintendo found you. So when we started this, I figured, oh, we'll get an ending and continue. But I've been at this for like an hour now. We only have 2 more endings, so fuck it. Let's go for it. Let's see. Let's get a hint. Some things you remember don't match what you see. Learn what you can. Ask questions. Have a serious talk. Don't be mean, but still, get out of there. Okay, so this time we're going to try and leave. But perhaps we'll not start a fight this time. Well, we have to find a way to leave, but by having a serious conversation. And we'll go with Sarah again, because I think if we don't start from 7, we can't be like, I'm not sure what I saw, so we can question it. We'll talk to Sarah. We did start to have a serious conversation before about the nature of like, oh, well, I'm sorry, I let these people bully you. Let's talk about games, talk about how much you like games, being a hero in the stories, chance to be a different sort of person. Let's go with a different one, because while this one is the challenge solving stories and stuff, we might have to try this a couple times. So let's try a different one. The chance to be a different sort of person. Yeah, she says, that's a nice feeling. But something in her voice tells you she's thinking about something. You okay? Yeah, the girl who plays games. Okay, so we're gonna have a serious conversation, and we're gonna go for it. Everyone says that it's weird that I'm friends with you. Let's try this one this time. girls don't play video. Yeah, this is giving us the same responses we got previously. I could beat you at any game. Then you don't understand. What you really need to do is you're just taking your brother's games. Sheik isn't Zelda. You're lying. It is true. Sheik is not Zelda. They are different characters in Super Smash Brothers, starting in 4. I think that in 4 they got separated, so they must be different people. They just had to combine them into a single character. And Melee wasn't out at this point, so. But they just combined them in a single character in Melee, just for convenience. So they didn't have too many Zelda characters on the character select. Obviously. We have less options than we did previously, so maybe we had a more we had a more fruitful conversation before, but we do have this option still. Sorry, I don't stand up for you, but I should. Oh no, this is the one I was thinking of. This time, let's just, I'm sure just being like, well, I'm your friend, should be, and because starting this one with I'm sick of it, I don't know. Let's just, I'm your friend. Oh, she says. And then, thank you. Okay, so that did give us the same response. We can watch Sarah. We can talk to Sarah. We can talk about school. It occurs to you that even though Sarah does really well in school, you seem to remember her having some trouble earlier in the year. You ask what's up and receive no answer. We get the popcorn. Thank you for the popcorn. Be around here by midnight. She's gone. Ask about the uncle's visit. Uncle's coming. Thought he worked for Nintendo. Doesn't Nintendo have a lot of business out here? Cool that I finally get to meet him. Let's just be like, yeah, I think you'll like him. Sort of. Work does your uncle do? Yeah, we've seen this one. Sorry, I was just curious. Drop the conversation in silence. We can think. We can ask about the uncle. Let's talk to Sarah again. Let's talk about games. It's same conversation about video games. It begins raining outside. At some point, we got the ability to ask about the storm. Let's talk about games again. The prototype. At what point do we get the ability to ask about the storm? Do we have to? I think maybe we have to think about the uncle to remember the storm, maybe. No one else. Construction crews, bad storm at the time, neighbors. Oh, okay. Yeah, perhaps we have to have a conversation. Remember our own meal. We talk to Sarah. Ask if Sarah thinks the storm will be as bad as the last one. Do you think the storm will be as bad as the one we had before? I don't like the sound of the wind. Do you remember the storm that we had that tore down all the trees? Yeah, I think this is the one I would go with. I don't know what you're talking about, says Sarah. You don't remember? Remember what? The storm. It happened a few weeks ago. It was huge. It took down trees. I actually forgot until tonight. There was a huge storm. Let's be assertive about it. We won't be like, actually, I forgot. I think, we'll just be like, yeah, the storm happened a few weeks ago. It was huge. Took down trees. Sarah shakes her head. If it was important, I'm sure I would have remembered it. She says, you fall silent. Ask about the storm again. I don't know what you're talking about. I actually forgot. This time I forgot about it until now. Sarah shakes her head. If it was important, I'm sure I would have remembered it. She says, you fall silent. Okay, never mind. Remember our own Mew. What time is it? It's probably, it's 11:30. We're about to get got. And I haven't cracked this one. If we go to the kitchen, we don't have access to, time for what? Uncle's at the door. Okay. So I may need to take a few cracks at figuring this one out. Because what we were told is we need to have a serious conversation. We need to remember that things are different. So perhaps we'll remember. We'll think about the uncle so we can remember the storm. We'll remember the weird beer thing. So we will continue with our friend Sarah for the time being. Undefined error. We'll start from 7. Okay, so I'm gonna take a poke around at this and see if I can figure this guy out. Oh, okay. So I I did basically the same thing that we had been doing. I actually didn't read the previous thing, but I think it okay. Let me start with what I did. So I talked to Sarah, hey, you shouldn't let those guys, or not, I shouldn't let those guys have been as mean to you. I'll stick up for you in the future. I thought about her uncle to remember the storm. I questioned her about her uncle till she it was like, well, I don't believe that your uncle works for Nintendo. I didn't hit her back. And this time I flinched, and she was just like, whatever, let's not do this. And then I asked her about the storm. And I was like, hey, do you remember that big storm? And I got a new response. You remember the storm? Asked Sarah. Yeah, you say, nodding. But no one remembers the storm, she says. Could you please stop messing with me? It was big. It took down trees. Yeah. That's impossible, Sarah says. Impossible. No one remembers it. But I do. Sarah shakes her head. No, you don't understand. Please, I'm not messing with you. But this is important. But this is different. Something's different. He said no one will remember the storm. Who? He came out of the storm. I was home alone, Sarah begins, her eyes growing distant. Mom was at work. Dad was out at the bar. I remember you were alone a lot. You had a brother, didn't you? Let's just listen. Let's listen. I answered the door when the knocking started. He said he was lost and hungry. He said he could help me. All I had to do was promise to feed him. Bad expression. Feed me. Sarah tenses. What is that? We already know who she's feeding. Let's ask what is that? It's my uncle, Sarah says. Or that's what he told me to call him. I don't really know. I don't know what he is. It is. You're kidding, right? What did he do? I want to go home. We were told for ending 4, we should try and get out of there. So let's continue that way. I assume perhaps ending 5 would be sticking it through with Sarah, who I suppose maybe we should try a different name after this ending, even though I'll have to go and play through again to see to get that beer, the dad drinks beer option. I want to go home. No, Sarah says. You can't. He's already on his way. Bad expression. No. There it is, like a voice. Not something you hear exactly, but still, somewhere in the back of your head. Sarah heard it too. See? She asks. See? He's almost here. I'm calling my mom. Passing through the dining room, call mom. 3 rings. I want to go home. Please, mom, please. Of course, call the sitter. Den to pack your things. Return to the den. Sarah's sitting silently on the floor as you come in. You're leaving, aren't you? She says. I don't want to be friends with you. This joke you're playing is really mean. I should have known it was different, Sarah. I should have known it was different, Sarah mumbles. You were remembering too much. If your uncle's so powerful, why can't he just keep me here? Let's not tempt this one. We're going for ending 4. Please, Sarah says. Please don't go. I've never not fed him, and if I don't, I'm not sure what will happen. So you just want me to get eaten or whatever? Shut up and leave me alone. Let's just ask. So you just want me to get eaten or whatever? No, please, no, she replies. It's not. I think he'll kill me. Do you understand? He would have killed me if I didn't. Well, we are going for ending 4, so let's just continue packing in silence. Why could you hear him? She asks, but it doesn't seem like she expects you to answer. You both lapse into an awkward silence. Eventually, car honks outside. Beep beep. You get up to leave. Sarah has wandered over to the fireplace and is looking into its unlit depths as you walk out the door and into the night. The sitter's familiar car. Sister, climb in. Look over back to the house. The front door is closed. You suddenly can't remember if you did that yourself. The lights in the den are still burning. As the sitter pulls away from the house, you stare out the window at Sarah's house. The lights blurred and magnified by the rain streaming down the glass. Eventually, it all slides out of view. You find out the next afternoon about the fire. It started in the den, says the papers, where there was known to be a fireplace. That I thought was a TV for way too long. Apparently, it was left smoldering in the night. There were no survivors. Arson is suspected, since an accelerant would have helped the flames overcome the night's heavy rain, but nothing definitive is ever publicly released on this account. On this account. I took that as like account, like it's like account, like an account of the events, not like on this account, like on this live journal account. I don't know why live journal was my reach. I never even had a live journal. I don't know. One day after school, you ride your bike to check it out. Parts of the house still stand, walls and beams blackened by flames. Yellow caution tape has been looped around the outside, and the rubble hasn't yet been totally cleared away by the city. You decide to investigate. The second floor has either mostly burned away or fallen through, but standing in what used to be the den, you look up to the hole that would have been Sarah's room. The broken glass and charred drywall crunch beneath your feet until you step on something that isn't glass. You look down. There in the mess is what looks like a Game Boy, which, of course, the original Game Boy would have survived. The Game Boy Color, I guess, we'll find out. It's a Game Boy Color, not at all scuffed or damaged. In the back is a single cartridge of a copy of Pokemon Blue. A good choice. I am also a Pokemon Blue fan chooser. We should probably leave the Game Boy, but of course we're going to take Sarah's Game Boy. Looking from side to side as if someone might be watching, you pick up the Game Boy and flick on the power switch. After clicking through the Pokemon intro screens, you find there's no saved game on the cart. It's like a brand new copy. You turn off the Game Boy and stuffing it into your pocket, you return home. Your mom is standing there in the kitchen when you arrive, doing dishes, and your little sister is watching some annoying cartoon. Remember to take a bath and get dressed before 7, Mom calls. Remember? You're fairly certain she never told you to do that in the first place. You walk into the kitchen, dropping your backpack on the linoleum floor. I can never say that word. Why do I need to do all that? Silly, she says. Your mom turns from the sink to smile at you, and your throat tightens when you see how glassy and empty her eyes are. Don't you remember, she asks? Your uncle from Nintendo is coming over for dinner to celebrate his new job. We did it. We didn't get we got a different ending. We got ending 5 because I guess because we took the Game Boy. I suppose I could have not taken the Game Boy, and that probably would have gotten us ending 5. While picking through the rubble at Sarah's burned house, you find her old Game Boy and took it home. Coincidentally, your uncle has a new job. Lucky you. And we do have this option, so I assume that you don't need to get ending 4 to get this, but I'll go for it regardless. Let's restart from the beginning. We've Andrew. I guess we'll restart back up at Ashley. I guess we'll go for Ashley. Sure, why not? I actually did know people in middle school named Ashley and Sarah. They weren't like my best friends or anything. They were just people I knew. And I guess by doing this, I will probably have to go through again to get the does the dad drink beer. Okay, so this time I'm going to ask about the brother. I just basically did the same things again. It turns out I guess we didn't need to get the beer drinking thing to hit this point, since maybe it's already like marked a flag that we've like questioned whether Ashley's dad drank or not. So perhaps like changing names isn't a problem at this point anymore. You had a brother, didn't you? You remember him too? Ashley asks. He saw it first, the flash. From his bedroom window, she pauses, but I was the one who answered the door. We fought sometimes, says Ashley, but I wonder sometimes, if he'd answered the door instead of me, would he eventually done what I did to him? What are you talking about? What did you do? We got in a fight, Ashley explains. It was a fight over how I was getting all the cool stuff from my uncle. I think he was starting to remember, like you. Ashley chews her lip. He said that I couldn't appreciate all this since I was a girl. So what happened? Ashley won't look at you. I got my uncle to get rid of him, and he did. What did he do? I suppose we were at that point supposed to be like, I want to go home. He changed things, says Ashley. He said he could make things happen any way I wanted them to, that would always be the best, that guys at school wouldn't get so weird about me playing games anymore as long as I fed him. Fed him. Ashley looks at you, her eyes watering. For a long time, she doesn't say anything, and then suddenly you understand. And then, of course, we punch. No, we want to go home. I'm calling. Yeah, and at this point, we'll just go through. And I think at this point, unless I imagine it'll be the same until we get to the burned down house, and we just avoid the Game Boy, and then we'll get ending 4. That's what I'm expecting. Actually, I'm going. If your uncle's so powerful, why can't he keep me here? Ashley frowns. He gets weak. I put the ellipses in the wrong spot, but please forgive me. He can't do as much. Is that why things have been different? Is he weaker now? Begin packing our stuff. Yeah, so we've done this before. We, of course, are going to leave the Game Boy. We know the power of the uncle. We know that the Game Boy is cursed. We will leave the Game Boy. You leave the ruined house, hop back on your bike, pedaling back home. Your mom doesn't have work tonight, and since she knows you're taking recent events hard, she's promised to take you and your little sister to the movies. You don't think about Ashley at all. And with that, we hit the end. And that one is all unsaved data will be lost. You went home early, and it was lucky you did. Ashley and her family died in a house fire that night. Okay, so now we've gotten all the endings. And I'm actually really glad that we went for all the endings, because after I hit 1, I was like, oh yeah, this is pretty good. I like this. But going through it all, it's definitely, I do like it a whole lot. So I guess we'll click on this one and see what happens. Repetition with a difference. It is not the time for running. Go where you're not wanted. Go where you've been told you can't go. Okay, so it is not the time for running. Go where you're not wanted. Go where you've been told that you can't go. Well, the kitchen. We know about the kitchen. So perhaps at this point, we'll be able to enter the kitchen. And I guess we'll go with Ryan, since I went Andrew, Sarah, Ashley. Or I could pick another name because I didn't have a friend named Ryan until college. Brandon, I don't think have I ever known anyone named Brandon? I don't think. Dave, I've never been friends with a Dave. I think out of all of these, the only friend that I had as a child that I can immediately think of is I was gonna click Jessica, but that's not true. I had a friend named Jerica in high school, which Jerica is also the name of the main character from Jim and the Holograms. And it was funny. I'm just gonna pick Jessica because it's close to Jericho. So I'm picking it. Sorry. It was fun. I was having a conversation with friends, my friend Steve, while we were watching. We were watching Jim and the Holograms, and we at some point he was like, "I've never heard the name Jerica. That's so weird." And I was like, "Wait, no, hold on. I know a Jerica. I was friends with a Jerica. I've been to her birthday party. I've seen her home. She's cool." So that was a fun one. Okay, so we know we need to go where we're not wanted this time. So I don't know if we should. It's not the time for running. It makes me think that we just need to go through the whole thing. Cracks a beer, as we know. I guess we'll just go through the whole night. I'll just play games all night. And then once the uncle arrives, I'll make myself scarce and try and go to the no, I'm not going to play games all night. I'll talk to Jerica about the things. I just won't question about the storm, I assume maybe. At the very least, I'm gonna tell her I should have stood up for her, and then play games all night. I may have made a tactical error. I was like, oh, maybe we should just do the things that we have been doing before, like just in case. So we know about the storm, we know about the discrepancies, we've heard about the uncle, so now we know about the uncle, and at this point, I don't want to be like, I don't believe. I guess we could just be like, I don't believe you. I don't know if I say that she'll just be like, oh, yep, just kidding, haha. But I don't want to punch her, and I also don't want to be like, I want to go home. I think if we go into the kitchen, we can just be like, psych, I'm good. I'm gonna stay with you. I suppose we'll just be like, I don't believe you. You don't have to, says Jessica. He's already on his way. Whatever. Time passes. Clock chimes. It begins raining outside, so I think it's 10 o'clock. We still got plenty of time. We can no longer game with Jessica. Jessica is ignoring the Nintendo, is sitting on the floor doing nothing. Popcorn on the floor. Yum, yum, yum for the popcorn. Talk to Jessica. Talk about games. Try to start up a conversation. Does not want to talk about games and ignores us. We can talk to Jessica. Let's go into the kitchen. Go into the kitchen. We'll go into the fridge. We're gonna power up. We're gonna get a sip of water. Make sure we're nice and hydrated for our great escape. Grandfather clock. It's 11:30. Jessica doesn't want to talk. I am going to, once again, I'm going to go back and I'm going to get some cold pizza so I can fuel up entirely. I'm belly full. I am hydrated. So we can do this now. Maybe. The grandfather clocks chimes for the hour, and Jessica cradles her head in her hands. It's time, she says, sounding close to tears. I don't want to play games anymore. Someone knocks at the front door. Well, whom could it be? We don't know. That's him. I should let him in. We are going to make ourselves scarce. We're going to run to the kitchen. This passage does not exist. We'll go anyway. Bad expression. What? You go to the kitchen. I almost said kitchen. Bad expression. No, child. There's not much of a bad expression. This is not allowed, child. Tell the uncle to be quiet. It falls silent for a moment. It has grown weak since you haven't been feeding it. Take out the Game Boy. From your pocket you pull Jessica's Game Boy Color. The uncle is somewhere but behind the half-textured walls, grumbling to itself. Turn on the Game Boy. Start. Okay. Let's go to option. Well, I do want to see what's in our Pokedex. This isn't the time to use. Well, what Pokemon do we get? It's not. What items do we? No. Okay, you are carrying a Game Boy Color. Okay. You hope this works. We could save, but we're not here to save. We're here to go to option. We do want to turn the text speed to fast. Okay. Whoops. Oh, okay. I probably shouldn't have done that. In the corner, the grandfather clock is ticking softly. Through a nearby set of patio doors, you can see it's dark and rainy. Jessica is parked in front of the TV, playing something on the Nintendo 64. Suddenly she jumps, as if you scared her by entering when you did, and turns to look at you. What was that? She asks. I know about the uncle. Jessica blinks uneasily at you. I don't know what bad expression. Do not listen. I think that the audio actually just did it while I was talking. I'm sorry. But do not listen. You mean, what are you talking? I don't know what do not. Yeah, see, yeah, it's speaking to us. I don't know what you mean. What are you talking about? I used it to come back here. Bad expression. Stop this, stop this, stop this. Jessica looks around uneasily. I hear it too. How is this happening? Jessica asks. I'm starving it to death. I don't understand it. Not really. Bad expression. No. Yeah, let's starve it to death. Jessica shakes she head. Bad expression. Stop this now, children, in disbelief. What are you here for? What are you doing? The rain outside increases in tempo, or bad expression. Bad, children. Bad. Stop sounding exactly like rain. I came back to save you. We can all read this. I didn't need to read that because you could read that. Jessica takes a step towards you. How'd you do that? It doesn't control you. It may seem like it does. It may seem like it's all you have, but it's not. But it said it lies. It always lies. Bad expression. No, do not. I hunger. Same. But all the others, bad expression, gone. I ate them all up, says Jessica. They're gone. No, we're here. We're all here still. It doesn't eat all at once. It's slow. It takes years, maybe even forever. We have learned. We're going to be very authoritative about this. We have learned. We know all about it. It takes years, maybe even forever. Bad expression. Gone forever. We all read that very quickly. I made so many. My parents, my brother. I don't deserve it. Why did you come back for me? Suddenly, Jessica is crying. Why did you come back for me? Because you don't deserve this. Because we're friends. because I think we can stop this. I mean, because we are friends, it's because I think we can stop this is probably the correct answer in this moment, but we're friends. Bad expression. You are not. Oh, yep. Get out of here, uncle. Things are starting to change. The uncle, the thing that calls itself an uncle. I'm also a thing that calls itself an uncle. So, am I the villain here? Am I the baddies? Is either on the verge of death or making a final gamble to stop either of you from leaving? Jessica is still crying. Take Jessica's hand. If we don't do something soon, we'll be stuck. I'm hungry. Let's. Taking the hand would be reassuring. Let's be reassuring in this moment, because we seem to know what we need to do. Jessica looks up at you. You really came back for me? You really think we can do this? It wants us to hate each other, and I won't do that. Yes. With a sad smile, she nods. Okay. Yep. Normal things to say. Let's go. Yep, we're back at the Game Boy. Let's look at our Pokedex. Oh, we cannot look at our Pokedex. Yeah, I'm being told not to look at my Pokedex. All we can do is exit. Bad expression. No. Come back. Yep. And then just normal. This is normal things that uncles say. Oh, we still have options to pick here. I can't read any of them. So I guess we'll just click on them. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. You don't understand. Games offered me something I didn't have before. They gave me a sense of place. Oh. That went away. I'm sorry for not believing you. I'm sorry you were hurting and I did not listen. I'm sorry for all of this. Sorry you were hurting and I did not listen. I don't know who we're talking to anymore. I assume still Jessica. But this isn't who we have to be. It doesn't control us. It isn't our only choice, even if it wants us to think it is. We can become something else if we're willing to fight it. Let's say the shonen thing. You are my friend. No more games. You are my friend, and I am here for you. The uncle who works for Nintendo. And that time we got the final ending, which I'm assuming new game isn't the name of the ending. I'm assuming we click that and it's... Oh, no, it is the name of the ending. You and Jessica defeated the uncle who works for Nintendo. So that was the uncle who works for Nintendo. A very, very cool tech story. It's a couple years old now at this point. Let's hit escape. Because I also zoomed in because to make the text bigger, so it was easier for both of us to read. It's pretty old at this point. Nearly 7 years old, and a few months from this point. I received an update a few years after that, but even at that point, it's still 4 years old at this point. A very good story. Nice little horror, very creepy. We're gonna help our friends beat the uncle, which I assume as an. I have a nephew and 2 nieces, so I was going to say an uncle of 3, but that sounds strange, but is probably correct. As an uncle of 3, I assume one day I will have to be defeated, so children can say friendship shonen lines and become more powerful and overcome the horror that is me. So I thought it was very good. I liked it a whole lot. So you can, once again, support the creator. Check out the GoFundMe link. And that was The Uncle Who Works for Nintendo.